Well, I'm here with NHL Hall of Famer Reggie Leach. And Reggie, back in St. Thomas for the first time since the mid-'60s. And for those that don't know, it was a famous series between the Flin Flon Bombers and the St. Thomas Barons in Junior B back in the mid-'60s. And it turned out to be quite a series, and it's quite historic. For those that don't know, give us kind of the brief synopsis as to why people remember that.
Well, I don't really know. I actually forgot all about it until I got invited here, and then it was a tough series. St. Thomas actually went home. They came up to Flin Flon and said we were too rough, and they came home and wouldn't play the fourth game up there, or the fourth or fifth game, whatever it was. So the series itself was never finished. So that's part of the biggest thing that's going on here.
You're a Broad Street bully before a Broad Street bully, I guess, then.
Yes. I think that the team that in Philadelphia was sort of taken after our junior team, because we always had a rough team in junior, and I played with Bobby Clark also. So when he went to the Flyers, everything was turned around the same way.
Well, speaking of the Flyers, obviously the famous 1976 team where yourself and Bill Barber and Bobby Clark, the famous line, that was quite a time for you, and obviously quite an era as well.
Well, yeah, the LCB line, we had we had a great line together and everything else. And right now, the way the Flyers are playing, and they're back up on top again this year, and I think they have a good shot of winning the Stanley Cup.
Well, they were back in it last year, and the Flyers seem to really have had a resurgence. Obviously, it's been a while since they were a dominant team, and they seem to be back on top again.
Well, yeah, last year was I thought that they came on great. Really, they hit their peak coming into the playoffs, and that's very important. Doesn't matter who you are. If you have a hot goaltender and you have your team hitting, coming into the playoffs hot, you're going to win a lot of hockey games.
Well, tell me a little bit. Go back to that era of the '70s with the Broad Street Bullies, and how did that team become what it was? I guess the tough guys and the era that it was. How did you guys kind of build that team and make it so famous?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that I wasn't there for the first cup. I was there for the second, and with Bobby Clark's leadership and everything else, and that was the main thing. His leadership. We only had really actually one good scoring line. The rest of the guys were workers and what we call blue collar workers and everything else. And we worked together on and off the ice, and that was one big happy family.
And I guess finally, for those that don't know what you're up to now, obviously you're involved in junior hockey. Tell me a little about what you're up to nowadays.
Whoa. Yeah, actually I moved back to Canada after 38 years in the States. I live on Manitoulin Island, and they have a junior team there, which I'm involved with, and this is my third year, actually my second full year there, and it's a challenge. Hockey's a little different today. The kids are a little different. It's much different than when we were junior hockey players.
Well, he's one of the most famous NHL Broad Street bullies. Almost 80 goals in one season, counting the NHL playoffs. NHL Hall of Famer Reggie Leach.